fun environment from the front office to the field to the media to whatever, the coachings. And, it's a different world now.
Could you imagine what it feels like to be that kid and know that Pat Mahomes knows who you are and said, I want you?
Yeah.
No pressure, right?
Right. I mean, arguably the number one quarterback in the league said, yeah, hey, if you're going to give me a running back, like, this is the kid I want.
Man, like, you got to be excited to come to work. You know,
Yeah.
Here's another thing. We have a gem here in Kansas City, okay? His name's Dylan McCullough, and he's our running backs coach. And all he does is insert a guy that averages 5.5 yards a game every week. I mean, we realized when we lost Kareem Hunt, how he just put dudes in and the run game stayed the same.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right?
And now he's talking about me.
and now he's got the same thing going with Williams, right? Williams was great in the playoffs. McCullough always has his dudes prepared. He always has his dudes prepared. And now he's going to get another guy. Like, I mean, we have some coaches on this Kansas City Chiefs staff that I am really happy that they are coming back.
Yeah, and speaking of McCullough, he has a son who's going to be a senior, right?
He has two sons that are ridiculous.
Yeah, I know.
Where do they play at?
I think
Blue Valley North.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the one that's going to be a senior, I believe, I see him tweeting out like every day, like, I've received my 75th offer from whatever Division I college, insert here.
Yeah, I think last week was Ohio State, Pittsburgh, Michigan State. It doesn't matter. It's whoever. I mean, he's already visited Alabama, and his younger brother may be better.
No joke.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
Day may
be
better than all of them. And Dylan who's over at Miami of Ohio playing defensive back. You know, he went to where his dad went. That kid played for us on Epic 7, and he's an unbelievable athlete. Son played with us on Epic 7. He's unbelievable, but Day may just be better. Like, it's crazy. And, hey, a little fun fact about McCullough over there at Blue Valley North. Wait till you hear this kid talk.
Okay.
If you put James Earl Jones at the bottom of a well.
He got the real man's voice going on, huh?
His voice is so deep, and he's 6'5", he's 200 pounds, he's kind of wiry, right? Fun spirit, and then you hear him talk, and you got to turn around like, what grown man just spoke? Because his voice is so deep, it's unbelievable.
One thing we want to do once the Rona has cleared and we're able to, people are able to kind of resume a normal life, is we want to try to spotlight some high school seniors in the Kansas City area, maybe some of the lesser-known kids, along with some of those high big-time athletes, and maybe do, like, short segments with each of them and, just to kind of get the word out there, kids from different schools and different walks of life.
Iowa just made 2 kill shots here in Kansas City. They just got Mason Richmond out of Blue Valley, offensive lineman, who I call Drax because he's like his sense of humor. And then they just picked up Bo Stevens out of Blue Springs. Like, Iowa just came in here and killed it. And with those 2 guys going, I wouldn't be surprised if Arlen Bruce goes up there too. Like, Iowa killed Kansas City this year.
Yeah,
I know you hate that, Gary.
Gary's happy about that.
Yeah, and I talked to Bruce. I talked to Bruce a little bit last night, actually on Snapchat, through the Midwest Mike Snapchat. We were texting back and forth, about Simmons. Obviously, same high school, and,
right?
Coaching against Arlen Bruce. I don't know him off the field much, but on the field, some of the same traits and things, that I saw in Simmons, I see in that kid now.
Yeah, that kid's good.
I mean, as a defensive coach.
To get 2 more offensive linemen out of Iowa because that's a shock. Because what does Iowa produce every year?
Oh yeah, O-line. I mean, we mentioned earlier, you coach in wrestling. The big thing that Iowa looks for in their offensive linemen is like state championship caliber wrestlers. And I don't think a lot of high school kids understand the benefits for, the bigger guys, especially being a wrestler and just everything it teaches you.
Well, I mean, if you look at Wirfs Tristan Wirfs out of Iowa who fell to 13. Hello, Tom Brady. Did you just get a godsend? Like, who's going to gift you Tristan Wirfs? The kid jumped out of a pool. I mean, he's jumping out of a pool. Like, you're a 300-pound man. I can't even jump up off the couch, let alone jump out of a pool, right? Like, dude is jumping out of a pool. Like, that explosive in athleticism. And he played baseball and wrestled up there in Iowa.
Baseball? I didn't see that. I saw that clip of him jumping out of the pool, and I was like, what the heck?
He was a pitcher.
Super athlete.
Right? Yeah. Like, it's okay to play other sports to make you athletic. Watching Henry Ruggs duck basketballs last night was like, wow, like you are really explosive. But, I mean, Iowa is just a factory right now for producing offensive linemen. And it used to be the big school was Wisconsin in the big was it 9,000, whatever it is now. Mm-hmm. So I think Iowa is passing them and seeing the guys they're producing, tight ends they're producing, offensive linemen that they're producing is fantastic.
Yeah,
I loved Wirfs. I think he is something else. Like I was hoping like he would, somehow fall. I always have dreams as fantasy GM.
Yeah.
About top 5 dudes falling down to 32.
Yeah.
Because I always have an answer like, oh, if we could just get, Tristan Wirfs. Oh my goodness.
Gosh.
I definitely thought he would go in the top 10.
If let's just look at those picks. Was it 11, 12? Is it 11 and 12? Where did they go? Yeah. No. 10, Willis to Cleveland. Steele.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Jedrick Willis out of Alabama. Steele. Okay. Then you get, I don't know, in, what was it, Game of Thrones? Wasn't it The Mountain?
Yeah.
So now you get the guy from, you literally just picked up the dude M'Baku from Black Panther and Mekhi Becton out of Louisville. He is.
Yeah, I see. I had him pretty high. I really liked him. The only knock on him, probably the only reason he slipped down was because he played at Louisville. I mean, really, he didn't play at Ohio State or Bama.
You pick Wirfs. I mean, that was 3 top 5 tackles that just go bang, bang, bang. And I'm not going to hate on the kid from Georgia that went to the Giants at 4. Thomas. I'm not hating on him. But Willis, Becton, and Wirfs were. Yeah. Those guys are unbelievable.
Kind of in that
Becton
range you're talking about, 10 to 15. The one odd pick was, one of the Chiefs' biggest rivals there with the Las Vegas Raiders taking Riggs, the wide receiver out of Alabama, who, in my opinion, and I know your opinion too because we were talking earlier, but not even the best wide receiver on that team.
Yeah, I was pretty surprised by that.
Okay. I mean, I don't know how you take Jerry Jeudy behind Ruggs. I mean, Jerry Jeudy is absolutely ridiculous. Yeah. He is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And then you have Ruggs. I know, did Al Davis just come back? Did he just go straight Undertaker and just come up out of the coffin? And sit up at a 90-degree angle and pick Ruggs because he's fast?
Yeah, hey, that guy's really fast. He'll just outrun everybody.
Yeah, it's like they were going to draft, and all of a sudden his ghost just showed up out of the floor and said, "Draft this guy." I said, "All right, I guess so." And they went and did it. Yeah, that was kind of good. I mean, he's a good player, but it's crazy. This draft feels pretty loaded. Really, the first round when you're looking at all these players, dang, everybody is solid. I mean, it's really solid. And another common theme, especially this year, and it's been like that in years past, was all the schools they came from. When you get, with your offensive line, you have Iowa, but like it's Ohio State, it's Alabama, you got some OU in there,
LSU.
You got one kid from Utah State. But other than that, it's all like the same. It's all the same.
You got two
schools.
TCU guys in here.
I saw that. I was kind of surprised by that, but they're studs too, really. So
all right, Austin, I've got to ask you this: did you find it odd last night that the AFC West just declared that we are no longer playing defense?
Yeah,
that we're only going to play offense because we got to figure a way to outscore Kansas City. Because you just said, I'm not picking a single defensive player in the first round.
Yep.
I am going straight offense, and we're just going to see if we can score. Because I saw a stat last night that the Chiefs allowed 66 points in 6 AFC West games.
Yep.
So you averaged 11 points against us. So you said, I need to go get big numbers because trying to stop Kansas City is impossible right now. So we're just going to go get speed to try to be vertical and try to outquick them. I thought it was a shock that every team in the AFC West decided we're going offense. Other than like with San Diego had to get a quarterback. You could have got a quarterback in the second round, but you all decided, no, we're playing offense out here.
Yeah, and I jumped on Twitter like after I got off the Zoom call with this guy, and I jumped on Twitter just to see some reactions, and I actually didn't realize that. I didn't realize that happened until after the draft or after the first round, and I was like, "What?" It makes sense, right? Because the goal for every team is try to win your division, so they feel like, okay, we need to go offense heavy because we got to match up with KC, and also, are they just kind of copying our formula a little bit because they're going to want to go offense heavy. Because really, they want to get a lot of those teams. They want to go receivers because KC's receiver core is nasty, and we got all of our guys back, which is really crazy. Because I really thought Robinson was gone, I really thought Watkins was gone, and then all of a sudden we have everybody back, which is insane. And so the other teams are like, oh crap, we got to try to match up. And I think as far as Denver goes, Denver wants to try to get a weapon for Drew Lock.
And they did.
They did, and I'm curious. I actually thought I saw some mock drafts said they were going to go running back, which I didn't agree with. But receiver, yeah, I agree with that. We'll see. I will see. I'm not after watching Drew Lock this year. I'm not sold on him as an NFL guy, but we'll see. We'll see what happens with our division. I think as far as the way the teams are shaping up now, Chiefs are still the big time favorite. Because we're going to have a bunch of, well, not young QBs, but a bunch of QBs that still are kind of, besides Carr, which I think we know what Carr is. Carr is like the average dude. He's an average quarterback. The other two quarterbacks still are going to have a lot to prove this year. So I thought it was, that's a crazy point that you made about the offense. But, yeah, we'll see.
Carr's one of my favorite quarterbacks to watch. I love Carr.
You do?
Carr. I love him. Every time he plays Kansas City, I already know he's going to throw about 4 picks and just make some stupid decisions. So I love him.
I was going to say, that I saw a Pro Bowl clip because Carr made a Pro Bowl maybe 3 years ago, and that's how he got his re-up, his big deal. Andy Reid was coaching Pro Bowl with him, and they're mic'd up, and Reid said if the trade with Alex Smith did not go through, that the Chiefs were going to draft Carr. And so, that's interesting to me.
Thank you, Jesus.
Yeah. So we got old safe Alex Smith who wins a bunch of games, and then he gets to kind of mentor Mahomes, and now we are where we are.
Without Alex, I don't think we are where we are.
absolutely not.
I have insane love for Alex Smith. He's a guy. He's one of the best. They even talked about giving him a ring this year, which is kind of funny. But he was, he's part of the whole culture change with the Chiefs being back to being winners.
Well, this is what I don't understand about NFL quarterback and the complaint about NFL quarterbacks. Tom Brady is a game manager. I mean, is there anybody talking to him in the headset? Like, do you think he's listening to McDaniels at all? Like, you don't think that Tom Brady